from the Pratt Area Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm joined by Alicia Straub. Alicia is our current representative for the 113th District in Kansas, but this year she chose to run for the Senate seat in District 33. So welcome, Alicia. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm very good.
So tell the Pratt County voters a little bit about yourself and why you're running for the Senate seat.
I am a fifth-generation resident of Barton County. My family settled here in the late 1860s, actually both sides of my family, my mother's and father's side. So we are, local people who have chosen to raise our families here and, build our lives here. So anyway, I got into politics through serving on the Barton County Extension Council Executive Board. It was a volunteer position that I served in approximately 10 years ago, and that led me into a position on the Barton County Commission. So I ran for that seat in 2014, was elected to fill that four-year term, and in 2018 I ran for re-election for that seat, was re-elected to fill a second term. And we got the unfortunate news that Greg Lewis had to resign his House seat. I was approached by many people to pursue that opportunity, and so I did, and that put me in this position as the representative for the 113th House District, which represents Pratt, Stafford, Barton, or a portion of Barton and a portion of Rice and Pawnee counties. So anyway, I've been in that position for a little over a year. And as the session unfolded last year and this year, I was approached by more people to pursue the 33rd Senate District, which includes 12 counties, or all of 10 counties and a portion of 2 counties. It's Pratt, Stafford, Barton, a portion of Rice, Rush, Ness, Lane, Scott, Pawnee, Edwards, Kiowa, and part of Hodgman counties. Wow. So it's a very large area, but in my opinion, these people are my family, these people are my friends, and I think I represent the people and their ideals for this district very well. So I'm here to serve everyone and help maintain our vibrant communities and support agriculture and livestock. Those are, two of our main fuelers to our economy here. I also know quite a bit about the oil industry, a family that works in the oil field, and anyway, just have a good appreciation for how we live here and the things that drive our economy here.
So, and you can talk a little bit about your time as a representative or moving forward as a senator if elected. What do you think would be your biggest challenge or opportunity to work on when you get back to Topeka, or if you want to talk about what you worked on last year, that's fine too.
I think our biggest opportunity is the communication between our state government and our local governments. I think that's one of the positives we've had recently is the communication from the state to our local county governments and city governments. But I do think that there's going to be a challenge of getting the executive branch, getting the governor's office to listen to and give the power back to the people and our county governments. I think that across Kansas we have a wide variety of communities, and what works in Sedgwick or Johnson County or Wyandotte County isn't necessarily what's best for Pratt or Stafford counties. We're very different out here, and with the recent dealing of pandemic, I think that just highlights how we are so different across the state and how we can adapt. Kansans are great at adapting and great at dealing with crises, but I just wish that the state the executive branch would allow the local governments more power, and I think we were able to accomplish that somewhat with the last bill that we passed during the special session. It does give power back to the county governments, and that's one of my strong suits is local government from my service as a county commissioner. It's something that I think is so important. I am for limited government, and I am all for giving the people the power the people know best what's best for their communities, and that's where our government, that's where our whole American government succeeds, is in giving the power to the people. That's really what I support.
Awesome. So going back to Topeka, if elected, what would you be most excited to work on in the coming year?
In the coming year, I know we have a constitutional amendment that did not pass this last year, literally by 1 vote. No, I'm sorry, 4 votes. You know, as a Republican and as a member of the Republican Party, we do support pro-life and limited government, and I think it's something that we need to give that option back to the people. So the constitutional amendment that we had tried to pass was voted, well, it was vetoed by the governor. It didn't pass the House with enough votes to meet that, and it's something that I would also still work on through the Senate, is trying to get the power installed back with the people to vote on the ballot. That was something that was unfortunately voted down, and it's just unfortunate. Another thing that we're going to have to tackle is obviously the budget shortfalls that the pandemic has caused, and you know, a lot of those problems were probably unnecessary, and we knew that going, you know, at the end of this session that we would not be able to fund that budget. We knew that there would be difficult cuts to make, and I was actually one of 16 representatives who voted against the $8.02 billion general fund and budget. I voted against that because I knew we wouldn't be able to fund it, and as an elected representative, those are the tough decisions that we are elected to make, and those are the things that I would push for in the Senate, is make sure that those decisions are made in both bodies of the legislature and not just handed over to the governor's office to make those decisions. We represent the people, and we need to speak on the people's behalf and stand up and make those difficult decisions when we need to.
Well, thank you for making difficult decisions, because I can't imagine that that's an easy job, whether you're a senator or a representative, because you never can make everybody happy. So thank you for serving in that capacity, because I don't know if I could. What skills do you bring to this office? And I know you've talked about some of the skills, but what other things do you bring to the office of Senate if elected?
I think some of my strongest skills are my leadership skills, which I learned through mostly through 4-H, through being a 4-H'er for 12 years. I learned public speaking. Mm-hmm. I learned how to be critiqued on a project, how to improve something, work on something, reach that goal, and then improve on it. The 4-H motto is to make the best better, and Kansas is the best state. In case people didn't know, Kansas is the best state. We choose to live here. We choose to raise our family here. I have 3 daughters who are also 4-H'ers, and could not be prouder of them that they are learning those same life skills that I learned as a 4-H'er. So I know that my leadership skills are some of my best skills that I bring to the table. I also know how to work with people from all different walks of life. I was a district manager for a merchandising company and managed a district that it reached across 12, or at one time 13 states, from North Dakota all the way to Texas. And I was able to manage a field team of over 65 members, strictly virtually from my home in Ellenwood, Kansas. So there are so many opportunities for business to call Kansas home. Businesses really to locate here and make this their home. And it's that live here, work there. And I did that. I still do that. I'm an independent contractor, merchandising contractor, and can work all over the nation if I choose. So anyway, there's just so many opportunities that I see for not just my family here, but everyone else's too.
Well, that's awesome. And you did that many states, so a few counties seems like a little compared to 13 states. At least you don't have to drive that far. So.
Right.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Is there anything else that the people, do you have a Facebook page, a web page, anything, if they want to follow you, how do they get a hold of you?
Okay, you can reach me at www.straub-kansasfirst.com. You can email me at straubforkansas, spelt out, at gmail.com. I do have a Facebook page, Alicia Straub-Kansas First, and I don't know if I covered that. Something else about me is, covering 12 district or 12 counties isn't. It doesn't seem so daunting to me. I worked at the grain elevator growing up, all through my high school years. I was on a meats judging team, so we traveled to western Kansas and judged carcasses in the meat lockers every week. So I've traveled across western Kansas many, many times, know the area well, know the district well, and just think that I would be a good representative for the 33rd Senate District.
Well, thank you for joining us today. If you have not registered to vote, you still have time to get out there and vote. You can go to voteks.org, or you can go down to our county courthouse at 300 South Nenaska and register. You have until Tuesday, July 14th to register for the primaries. And if you want to vote in the general election, you have until Tuesday, October 13th to register for that. Get out there, register. Every vote counts. Like you said earlier, it was off by 4 votes. So every vote does count, everybody. Hope to see you at the polls. Thank you again.
Thank you.